Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to another awesome session. And this is session 7, in case you forgot. So let's get started. Today's rule of the week, we will talk about double dribbling and what that looks like. Now, a double dribble is when I am dribbling the ball with one hand, and then I come to where I'm right-handed, so I come left hand, put it on top of the ball, and now I'm dribbling with both. That would be a double dribble. If I have two hands on the ball and I'm dribbling, that's a double dribble.
So here we're going to be talking about moving off the ball and you're moving away from the scoring area. And while it may seem counterproductive to move away from the scoring area, because you do want, in most general times, you would want to receive the ball in a position where you're closest to the scoring area. That way you have to travel less distance and can get off a quicker shot that's closer to the basket. And when you're closer to the basket, you tend to have a higher percentage of your attempts made. Oftentimes, all the help defenders will be inside the paint. And inside the paint, it'll be really congested. So if you're having trouble getting open inside the paint, you can do a fake in the direction toward the basket and then bolt outside of the perimeter. So by doing so, you're less of a threat and it's less urgent for the defense to follow you out. Well, they typically would follow you out, but if you do it suddenly and your timing is correct, then you can create a good amount of separation to get open and might even have enough time to get a shot off. So here's how it looks. So right here, the black dummy is a defender, and I'm being tightly marked inside the paint. So I might be a little lackadaisical, and that way he doesn't anticipate a sudden movement. So I'm here, I'm going to move this way, here. We're going to be covering some basic fundamentals of layups. So you want to be traveling at a speed that's under control. You don't want to be going too fast. If you go too fast, a lot of times it makes the execution of the layup a lot harder. And the under control is an under control speed is important. So you'll want to have your shoulders relaxed. And a big thing that I would say is your footwork. So with your footwork, you'll want to, you're allowed 2 steps after you pick up the ball, after you pick up your dribble. But when I'm putting the ball with my right hand, my first step is to use my right foot, left foot, leave off my left foot. Here it is with the left side. The left side, it'll be vice versa. So I'll start off, after I pick up my dribble, it'll be my left foot, right foot, and then we jump off my right foot. Here, let's do it. Recap. The biggest things is you want to be traveling at an under control speed. You want to make sure. Sometimes I prefer to have 2 hands on the ball in case I change my mind and I want to pass the ball. Or because if you only have 1 hand on the ball, it might be you have less. Especially for me, I have small hands. It might be easier to strike that. So if you have 2 hands, it's easier to maneuver the ball away from opponent hands. And lastly is your footwork. You want to step. If you're laying up with your right hand, after you pick up the ball, step to your right, step to your left, jump off your left. You're laying up with your left hand, pick up your dribble. First step to your left, second step to your right, jump off to your right. I'm going to cover change of pace dribbling, and this is going to help you get out of trouble situations. So essentially, you're starting off in a control dribble where you're just having the ball dribble between, I'd say lower than your knee height. So I would be starting off like this. So I start off like that control dribble. Then I want to push the pace and accelerate, pushing the ball in front of me with speed dribble, and then afterwards back to a control dribble again. So start off with control dribble, speed dribble, then control dribble. So that changes direction. Slow, accelerating, back under control again. Here's other. So you're able to get out of danger in those situations because if you're starting off at a slow pace like this, a lot of times they call that lulling the defender to sleep. So if he doesn't suspect anything dangerous or explosive to happen, and then you accelerate quickly, you can catch the defender off guard. So that's how you would work on it. And when you're practicing it, make sure that, again, you're dribbling the ball below knee height at the start of your control dribble. Get your offhand in a position to protect the ball and make yourself bigger. And then as you start the speed dribble, you want to push the ball in front of you. That way you can allow your legs to stretch and as you sprint. And then after you burst 5-10 yards, you want to regain control back at the dribble lower than your knee. Use your offhand to protect the ball.
Now let's talk rebounding. Now there's different things and different tricks we could do to win a rebound. So today I'm going to teach you one thing you could do, which would be to kind of fake out your opponent. So if I am on offense, my teammates have the ball, my teammate just shot the ball, and my opponent is facing me, so we're both facing each other. As my teammate is shooting the basketball, I will go straight to it. As my opponent is turning to box me out, as they're turning to get around me, this is them, and as they turn to box me out, right when they're like right about here turning, I will go straight. So I won't give them enough time to turn and get me behind them. So I will just go right as my teammate shoots the ball. I will cut straight to the hoop and get that rebound.
Post moves, and this one is called the drop step baseline power move. So I'm going to do a demonstration and then break it down. That move consisted of jumping as I catch the ball. The ball placement should be kind of high, keeping the ball away and protected above my forehead, elbows out, and I want to pivot. So power move for me would be going to my right in a position in a place where I can go to my right. I'm going to do a ball fake toward the middle of the court. Defender bites. I'm going to read the defender's momentum as he comes off of his shoulder. I'm going to pivot, get my leg in a position where I'm around him. Jump, 2 feet, still protecting the ball. Lay the ball up. Crowd got ball.
Now let's talk a little bit of defense and why it's important to always be aware of what's going on around you. So before, when I talked about rebounding, I said that we wouldn't give enough time to our opponent to turn and get their arms around us because we would go straight after our teammate shoots. So that's why it's really important to be aware of what's happening, because if it was switched and you didn't have enough time to get into your boxing out position, then that would happen to you. So that's why we have to make sure that we know where, one, our opponent is, and two, what's happening with our teammates and what's happening around us. So we always know what we should do and if we should. We're never caught reacting to a situation.
So we're going to demonstrate the reverse drop step. And this is what you'll use when you're defending and they attack and run past your lead foot. This is what's called a reverse drop step. So here we're going to demonstrate it and then break it down. So as you can see there, I gave up, not intentionally, but I always want to force the attacker to go in the direction of my back foot. So in this case, they attack my lead foot, most likely because of a really good move or because of poor defensive positioning. And that, with this happening, I have one option left. The best option is to reverse drop step. You want to be in a leg position, pivot with my back foot so that my lead foot becomes my back foot. And depending on the speed of the attacker, I want to give it a shuffle. That way I can move with the attacker and stay with them and stay in front. So by doing the drop step, the reverse drop step, I was able to turn a dangerous situation and get it back under control.
Let's talk about something that will probably happen, and that is when you lack motivation. Now, this tends to happen when it's towards the end of the season or midway season where you kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to go to practice, I don't want to go outside and train, or I don't want to do these things on my own. And when that happens, we want to make sure we reach out to teammates and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. So we as a team can help each other and bring each other up. Or you could reach out to your coach and tell your coach how you're feeling and have a conversation with them, and hopefully you guys can come up with a plan or figure something out to where you'll grab that inspiration again and feel motivated to want to go outside and train or go to practice, watch videos, do little things that will keep improving your game.